Kris here, Green Sabre, episode 42 of Doom Telly. And apologies once again that there was a week missing, but I did forewarn you about this because I went off of my jollies to Scarborough. And yeah, we're all right. I mean, Scarborough, innit? As I grew up in Morecambe for a large chunk of my life, I'm used to depressing seaside towns. And I think there's parts of Scarborough that definitely fit that. Others that don't, though. But anyway, regardless of that, I had a ruddy good time. Did a bit of surfing, did a bit of ice cream eating, slotties. Oh, yeah. All your fucking seaside fare. So it was great. So, yeah, apologies for having a week off, but I'm back, refreshed and invigorated. I'm ready for action, yes. Anyway, for any of you that have a toddler or a small child, mine's about to become 5. You never get a break when you're an older. You come back from a holiday needing a fucking break. But anyway, it was good. Enough of that fucking bullshit, though. Look, minute 10 seconds gone already. Right, today's video. Now, what I'm going to do first, before we get into the nitty-gritty of today's video, Green Sabre did a gig, of course, which if some of you who follow Mark G with a C and Rock and Metal Plus John, if you follow those two, and Beardy Red Viking, of course, as well, if you follow those 3 accounts, you'll have seen a little bit of a kind of review, a kind of mention about, because those guys were fucking stellar and turned up, came to see us. The Pier Hat in Manchester. As you're watching this now, this will be Monday, probably in the afternoon before I get it uploaded. Anyway, so yeah, a week ago today, we played the Pier Hat in Manchester, Froglord, Jeremiah AD, Acid Trip. It was a cracking night. It was a really, really good night. It was a fucking warm one down there. I don't know if you've been to the Pier Hat in Manchester. It's like a basement venue. It's the same venue where Atma is in Manchester as such. Atma's upstairs. This was in the basement. And, yeah, fuck me, it was hot. But cracking gig. Backstage area as well. It's always nice to have a little bit of backstage area. I'm not fucking precious about these things, but I tend to, as I've mentioned before with live, I need to get in the right headspace to play live. I can't just sort of, blah, 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 blah. All right, I'm on, see you in a minute. Yeah, I need to zone out in order to zone in and get the whole, yeah, I've got to have me time before I go on. So yeah, it's always nice to have a venue that's got space for you to just fucking get your shit together, plan attack, and so on and so forth. So yeah, really, really good night it was. Acid Trip opened up there from Leeds. Young lads, and I don't mean that in any kind of detrimental young pups kind of thing, but they just reminded me when I was their age, doing the band thing. I don't think this was their first gig by any stretch of the imagination, but yeah, it reminded me when I was their age, so it was ace, and they were really good. They were. I'm not sure entirely suited to the lineup, mainly because the rest of us, the other 3, were doomy as hell, and this had more of a kind of Silverchair feel, almost, you know, like early Nirvana, sort of Silverchair-y kind of thing. But they were fucking great at it. And it was great to see them rip through their set. I mean, when the rest of us came on, we had sort of set lists of about like 5 songs, 6 songs, something like that. I think they played, I don't know, about 200, it felt like. But yeah, much shorter songs basically. But yeah, Acid Trip opened the night and opened it up really well. So yeah, good to see them. And hopefully I'll catch you guys on the circuit again in the future. Jeremiah AD next from Birmingham. Terrific bunch of lads. Got to know them really well in the time that we that we had there. So absolutely must gig again with Jeremiah AD. Not only are they a fucking top bunch of lads, great bunch of lads, fucking phenomenal band. There was a real doomy element, a sludginess to it that I really enjoyed. The singer's fucking phenomenal live. Really good, just not performance, that's probably the wrong word. He just absolutely fucking lets loose. And yeah, you can tell that he is fully in the fucking zone up there. Really good. Just, yeah, great band. I could hear almost elements of Tool in places to what they do. And So, yeah, really good. And I hope, I absolutely intend to get some fucking more gigs with those guys at some point. So, hopefully, Jeremiah AD, we can gig with you down Brumway, because I'd like to get my footprint in Birmingham at some point. Final band, we went on next, but you don't need to know about us. Watch Mark G with a C's video about it, or John Rock and Metal Plus, and like I say, Beardy Red makes a mention of it. And before I go on to Froglord, I will mention that Mark G, John Rock and Metal Plus, Beardy Red and his last live turned up, and it was fucking ace to see you all. Really, really good night. And yeah, different dynamic that we got out all together, and I was part of the entertainment. That was kind of weird. So I would have liked to, I would have rather just spent the night just nattering to you guys, like, you know, but yeah, I had some work to do, you know. But it was fucking ace seeing you. I can't wait for our next meet-up. And yeah, just brilliant. I finally got to meet Mark G with a C in person as well. And if you've not met him in person, if you love him on his videos, which it's very difficult not to, it's just the same. Yeah, just same as fucking top bloke. Great to see you, Mark. And John and Beardy Red and Liv. Yeah, great night. So yeah, Froglord finished proceedings. Unique. Yeah, really good kind of theatrical, immerse yourself in that character of it. Frog on stage, not a live one. Frog sort of thing. We had to bow to the frog. They were fucking tremendous. And again, another band that I'd happily fucking gig with again. Yeah, I'd love to. So, yeah, I won't go into too much detail. Like I say, watch. I'll link you to Mark J with the C's video of it, and John at Rock and Metal Plus's video of it, and Beardy Red's mention of it on his latest video. So I'll link them all down below. So I won't go into too much further detail. But it was fucking ace. I had a really good time. My first gig in Manchester with Green Sabre, and I can't wait to do another one. Yeah, it was fucking ace. So, yeah. Top banana. Right, that's enough of the catch-up. So, Green Sabre, today's video. And you'll have already seen the title, so I've had some fucking heads up about it. But without wishing to kind of just keep doing whatever Alters of Mattness has done on a weekly basis, but this is another Alters of Mattness video that he did that I was inspired by, and it's going to be one of a three-parter. Probably should have done the air quote marks with 3. Anyway, it's going to be part of a three-parter. Alters of Mattness did a great video, which was modern albums that are 10 out of 10s. Now, when he says modern albums, they're like from 2000 onwards. Now, technically, I think the earliest one I've got is a 2006 one in here. So mine is sort of from 2006 onwards. I don't know whether to do one that covers, so whether to do a 4th or a 3.5 video that covers that little gap there. So I'm going to do my modern albums from 2000 as such like that, 10 out of 10s. Then I'm going to do, I doubt very much it's only going to be 10 though. It might be a 15. 10 out of 10 albums from the 90s, and it might be a 15 or a 20, 10 out of 10 albums from the 80s. So, yeah, those are going to be my videos, but I was inspired by Alters of Mattness's video on this. So I've gone for modern albums that are 10 out of 10s, post-2000 albums as such. Now, I will already throw in a disclaimer. I am sure in the comments you will tell me of a fucking ton of records that I've missed off of this list. And I know that there'll be records behind me that I'll be like, oh, fuck, that should have been on this list. But I went through it. I've kind of gone through my Discogs, thinking, all that, gone through a quick one, and then thought, no, I like these 10. I've got enough to talk about with these 10. This will fucking do. So these are going to be the 10. If there are others that I wish I'd put on then maybe that's a fucking video for another time. But anyway, so here is modern albums that are 10 out of 10 fucking classics. So I'm going to start with an album from, well, I've got the years as well, just to make sure that you sort of know that they're all qualified. An album from 2014. And this is my favourite album from this band. If I had to pick one, this is the one that I go to. The band is Pallbearer. The album is their sophomore record, second album, Foundations of Burden. I fucking love this record. Like I say, this isn't the Pallbearer album that I got into. The album that I got into them, in actual fact, was a Heartless one. The one that followed this. which I really like, but it's nowhere near as fucking strong as this one. This was the second album that I discovered, and then Sorrow and Extinction, their debut, I discovered next as such. And this is the one that really, it all switched on, like, fuck, these guys are amazing. A lot of people will tell you that the debut is the best one. A lot of people will tell you that their demo is the best one. I don't have that one in the collection yet, but I will do at some point, because you can get it on vinyl. But there's some fucking rippers on that demo. But this is just stunning. This is the, might as well, you know, this is Vinyl Community. I think this is the pink vinyl press. It is the pink vinyl press, yeah, look at that beauty. Majestic. It's a reissue, I think it's a 2019 reissue of the album. But this is comfortably my favourite one. It's got most of my favourite Pallbearer tracks on it. Very difficult to see. Worlds Apart, of course, opens it. Foundations, another fucking belting song. Watcher in the Dark, one of my favourite Pallbearer songs of all time. It's such a fucking doomy, crushing opening fucking riff to that song. Majestic. Ghost I Used to Be. The track Ashes, I fucking love. Really sort of mellow cutaway from their usual sort of brooding, thumping affair. Really nice sort of mellow interlude kind of thing. Yeah, so I will talk over trying to fucking unsuccessfully put this back in here. It's one of them sheets that came with it, and it's not really fucking big enough, if I'm quite honest with you. But double album, you see. Yeah, so my number 10, the best Pallbearer album for me, Foundations of Burden. Fucking love it. I was lucky enough to catch them at Damnation last year, and they were sensational. They were my band of the day, and there was some fucking acts on that year. I'm going back this year though, so any of you that got into Damnation this year, I will see you there. So that was my number 10. My number 9, and again, I wouldn't read too much into the fucking order of this. They could have gone in anywhere, quite honestly. They're all 10 out of 10s, so, for me. And this one, and this will no doubt surprise you, especially with the band that people will assume it will be a different record, because it still counts under the criteria. But this one just speaks to me on a level, I don't really know why. I can't explain it properly. I can't explain why I like this record so much, basically. The album is Deafheaven's latest opus, Infinite Granite. Most of you will be assuming it would have been fucking Sunbather that would have got it. This is a nice, solid sort of blue, royal blue vinyl, whatever they want to call it. It probably tell you on the front of the album what it is. No, it doesn't. Of course it fucking doesn't. But I just fucking love this. I love Deafheaven for a start off. There's a lot of black metal purists that think that they're fucking woke hipsters and blah blah and so on and so forth. And again, it's another thing that always makes me laugh about the fucking black metal elitists and stuff like that. They're always first to round on a band that have overly lefty political leanings. That's not black metal. That's not this. That's not that. Blah blah. And we're sort of like, well, if that isn't, then you're overly righty fucking black metal doesn't qualify either, does it? No, they don't seem to have a problem with that, weirdly. Don't know what it is. But anyway, I fucking digress once again. But, so Deafheaven get a lot of shit, unfairly, I think. I think they're fucking spectacular. And that is all I will say on the matter. That album is brilliant, and I fucking love it from start to finish. The closing track, Mombasa, is a work of absolute fucking genius, and if you haven't heard it, go and hear it. It's black metal, it's shoegaze, and there is even a kind of, as I mentioned this album on a previous video, and I also mentioned that I cannot fucking stand bands like The Stone Roses and In Spiral Carpets and Charlatans and all that indie fucking wank, for want of a better phrase. It's just limp, lifeless, posturing bullshit, personally. All of it. I cannot fucking stand it. I say that, there's one good track, and that is the opening track on the Stone Roses debut. The rest of it can go in the fucking sea, as far as I'm concerned. But, anyway, I digress. The reason that I'm mentioning that is because there are lots of elements of bits that that sounds like Stone Roses. That reminds me of blah blah and so on. So there's elements on that record that I fucking despise. So why do I love them on that? And I think it just works contextually as a whole fucking piece. And I cannot find fault with it. And I think the reason that I've mentioned it in this one is I cannot find fault with it. And I don't know why. Because if the Stone Roses had put out half them tracks, I wouldn't be listening to them. I can't explain to you. But I think it's because that album just works as a whole. The mechanism that kind of gets you through it. And I think it's that heart, the occasional harks to black metal that you get on it. That is, it's not a black metal record. Let's be honest with you. With Ordinary Corrupt Human Love, the album before that, Deafheaven, were clearly moving away from that straight up screechy, black metal-y, shoegazy kind of black gaze, if you want to call it, thing. They were moving away from that, and you can hear that distinct move away. This has gone even further away, fucking poles apart from where they started as such. But I love it. I think it works for me on such a great level because it's musically brilliant. I love the tunes. And you've still got patches of that black metal influence that don't at all feel shoehorned in. Anyway, I've spoken too much about it. I think it's a 10 out of 10 record. And if you don't, then, well, you don't. But I do. And that's all there is to it. This is Doom Telly, after all. Right, okay. Where are we? That was number 9. This is number 8. Been on lots of my videos recently, but one of the greatest modern black metal releases you'll hear from me. It's just spectacular. Just on black vinyl, this one, so I won't get it out, for want of a better phrase. Start to finish, rippers, atmosphere, just the way they create a dissonant, uneasy, uncomfortable, evil. It's just everything, and it works with the probably 10 out of 10 should include artwork. And on the ones that I've mentioned before to you, maybe the artwork's not the strongest feature. Well, not as strong as the rest of it, I should say. This is, the artwork absolutely perfectly encapsulates what you get orally as well as such like. So, yeah, it's just, like I say, I've only recently talked about this, but I fucking adore this record. Black Metal Majesty, Akhlys and Melinoe. From 2020, I believe. Oh, yeah, I should have told you, Infinite Granite 2021, 2020. Now, there's an even more modern one coming up, and a lot of people's arguments are, hey, how can you tell that it's a 10 out of 10 when you've only really been listening to it a year? A year counts for me. I don't know if some of you are like me out there, but when I get into something, I fucking hammer it. There will be months where I listen to nothing else but one particular record. That's just how I roll. But yeah, so that is why an album from last year that you will see shortly counts, because I've listened to it that much. I know it's a fucking classic. So there is an album that's in this list that is from 5 years ago. 5 years ago, yeah. That I only discovered a couple of months ago, but it's in here because it's that good, because it's pretty much all I've listened to for the last few months. But anyway. So, yeah, that was my number 8, Akhlys. My number 7, and again, I did a ranking video for this band, and it reminded me just how fucking brilliant this record is. It is Mastodon, and it is their 4th studio album. 4th studio album, Crack the Skye, 2006, Crack the Skye. And this is just beautiful. Did I show you the colour, the limited edition blue vinyl? I feel like I've already showed it you, but seeing as I'm showing you vinyl, let's do it again. Yeah, there you are. Sort of more sky, but milky blue, if you will. Milky, icy blue. What the fuck it is. I'm sure somebody's paid to just give vinyl colour fucking daft names out there. If that is a paying job, I want it, because I think I'll be quite good at that. But anyway, this is a record without fault. Mastodon's finest record for me, and they've done a lot of fucking fine records. It is just a masterpiece. The artwork, the thread of the songs, and it's just banger after fucking banger. Opens with Oblivion, Divinations, Quintessence, The Tsar, their first fucking epic on this album. B-side, Ghost of Karela, the title track, Crack the Skye, and final track, The Last Baron. I saw them live. The second time I saw them live, they opened with The Last Baron. Fucking phenomenal. Yeah, absolutely breathtaking. Like I say, I've done a video recently, so I won't go into a tremendous amount of depth on that one, but that is Mastodon's finest hour, personally. A lot of people will tell you the earlier stuff. They'd be wrong to tell you that. That's their fucking finest hour. And that's not just my opinion. That's scientific fact. Okay, right. So, that was my number 7. My number 6. And again, a band that I've done a ranking for. And this came out as my number 1 of theirs. It is Yob. And it is their... Fuck, I lose count to be quite honest with you. But it's not their most recent one. It's the one before that. And just to prove sort of how rarely you get an album from this band. Their most recent album is from 2018. Our Raw Heart. This is the one that came before it in 2014. And it is Clearing the Path to Ascend. It is just breathtaking, crushingly fucking heavy. It just... it fires on all cylinders. It's got Yob's clean moments, beautifully done. Mike Shate's incredible fucking voice. Just the heaviness of some of the riffs on here are like, they're just fucking a barrage. It is brutally heavy, but beautifully musical as well. As I mentioned on a previous video, my 2 favourite Yob songs are on this album. They bookend it, basically. There is In Our Blood that opens it. Absolutely fucking majestic tune. And the closer, Marrow, which is just breathtaking. If you've not heard this band, please go and check them out. They're fucking... If you like anything about what Green Sabre do, we basically just fucking spend most of our musical lives bowing to this fucking band because they're amazing. They're my biggest influence musically. Certainly, currently, with what I'm doing, I just love everything about it. Mr. Shate, if you ever fancy, you know, get a second guitar. I mean, you're heavy as fuck anyway. You probably don't need a second guitarist. But if you do fancy it, I'll take the job. I'm willing to audition. I'm willing to do what's needed. I'll have it. It can be my side project after Green Sabre. So, yeah, just make a note of that. Okay, so yeah, that was my number 6, Yob, Clearing the Path to Ascend. Fucking brilliant. While we're on the subject of brutal riff monstery, this band, it's my favourite record of theirs, Bongripper, Satan Worshipping Doom. 2010's Satan Worshipping Doom. This was a recent, a 10-year anniversary remaster, so it came out in 2020, is my guess. And yeah, it's a fucking bludgeon. If you know anything about Bongripper, it's instrumental. There's no vocals on it. I will show you. This is a fancy vinyl that I've got. It's a nice kind of, what do they call them? Splattery, mergy, fucking, yeah, sensational colour vinyl. Kind of vomit green or whatever it is. Bile green. It's just absolute brutality. If riffs are your game, then look no further. Bongripper are one of the pioneers at it. They're incredibly low fucking tuned as well. They're in like F sharp. They ain't the same tuning as Conan. Feel like they might be. We're in A, which I thought was fucking low enough, but these lot, yeah, take it to a whole other level. Just an absolute brutal bludgeon of a record. It's relentless and it's all great. I fucking adore it, and that is why it's on my 10 out of 10 modern fucking classics. And that's my number 5, Bongripper. Okay, we're into the top 4. Now, this one is an album that I almost forgot, and it was when I was trolling through Discord, I was like, oh, fuck, I can't have a list without that on it. It's one of my favourite modern UK releases. And I say modern, it's from 2016, I believe. Yes, 2016. The band is Bossk, and the album is Audio Noir. Now, is this their debut? I can't remember. Or was there an EP before it, or a split, or something like that? Anyway, wherever it comes in the collection, this is a fucking masterpiece. I discovered Bossk by seeing them live at Damnation. That was where I'd heard how fucking good they were. Did I see them? I feel like I might have seen them. I went to the Damnation, whatever year it was. Was it 2015 or 2016? Was it around this year? One High on Fire and At the Gates headlined when it was still in Leeds. And I caught a bit of them then, and I thought, oh, they were fucking good. And then, for whatever reason, I never really followed up on it. It was the last one in Leeds, the 2021. No. Yeah? Anyway, 2021. The last Damnation at Leeds. And they played it they played the main stage. And it was the first time that they were one of the bands that I wanted to go and see, because I remember thinking, right, I need to check them out. And I'd recently downloaded this, I think it was, yeah. Anyway, fucking long and very dull story. But they were absolutely fucking sensational live. And this album is a masterpiece from start to finish. It's just, it's beautiful. It's fucking crushingly heavy. It's got just some great... I don't know if it's strictly doom. It's probably not. No, I think it's probably more, what do they call it, like post-metal, alternative, something like that. There's enough uniqueness about it, though, which makes it quite difficult to pigeonhole, but I fucking love it. Like I say, there is no filler on this record. It is absolutely breathtaking from start to finish. Bossk, Audio Noir, an absolute fucking gem. It's still a 10 out of 10 for me, but yeah, there are a weird one where... The vocals, I actually like, they've got a newer vocalist that they've had for the last couple of years. Those vocals, I think, are a bit stronger than the original guy that's on this recording. They're that kind of breathy shriek, almost kind of like screamo shriek, do you know what I mean? That sort of like that Alcest do. And yeah, I don't know if I'm overly a fan of that kind of screamo, shrieky, gruff vocal. I think I prefer more thump behind it. But don't let that detract in any way from this record. It's a fucking masterpiece. If you don't know about it, go and check it out. It's brilliant. Bossk, Audio Noir. Okay, number 3. And this is the one that I've only been listening to for a couple of months. But I knew after a week of listening that it is going to be in one of my greatest albums of all time list. It is French band Huata, however you pronounce it. They are now since defunct. This was their last record in 2018. And courtesy of the band Kill the Witch that we supported in Bradford earlier this year, courtesy of them, I discovered this band. And thank you guys, not only for having us on at that gig, but for putting this in my fucking headspace, because it is just... brilliant. It ticks all the boxes for me. It's everything I love. There is a Pink Floyd vibe to the ambient nature of stuff. There's almost like French band Air. There's almost elements of that. I don't know if it's something in the air in France. Terrible joke, but anyway, let's move on from that. Yeah, it's something in the water maybe, but it just... yeah, there's elements of that. There's crushing heaviness as well, yob-like, and there's a kind of sludgy feel to stuff as well. And almost Uncle Acid vibes in places. It ticks so many fucking boxes for me, and it is just a masterpiece. It is. I've only been listening to it a couple of months, but I can tell you now, in my own professional opinion there, it's a kind of like a mergy, bluey black vinyl. Don't know if that side gives you a better impression. Probably not. No. But yeah, lovely vinyl. And I picked that up cheap as chips. I think even with postage, it was like 22 quid off of Discogs. I think I was lucky, because looking at it now, I don't think you'll find it for that price. Maybe I got the last one. Don't know. It is a limited press, this blue one. So if you do want it, act on it quickly. But I absolutely fucking adore this record. I can't... There are not enough superlatives. Your argument could be that, yeah, give it a few months, though. It might have worn off and so... Well... A lot of stuff's like that for me, because I listen to it to death, as I explained earlier. But Huata, let me try and remember the title for you. Lux Initiatrix Terrae. Lux Initiatrix Terrae. Anyway, whatever it's fucking called. It's from 2018, and it's fucking fantastic. Huata. Okay, my number 2. And again, turned up on lots of videos recently. It is a black metal masterclass. Mgla and their 2015 album Exercises in Futility. The track list is the track lists are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and they are all brilliant. If I had to pick a favourite, maybe it's 2, maybe it's 4, maybe it's 3, maybe it's 5, might be 6, might be 1. Essentially, though, they're all brilliant. They're all. This might even be an 11 out of 10. It is that good. If you're unsure about black metal, you don't really know where to start, and you're not a fan of the lo-fi thing, if it's the lo-fi thing that's put you off, then check this out. 2015. Modern production, but it's got all that evil and just blackness about it. Lyrics are brilliant. Concept's incredible. The musicianship is out of this fucking world in a subdued sense. You have to kind of like dig in and sort of like some of the stuff that the drummer does. And just the riffs, it's without fault. It is an absolutely faultless masterpiece of a record. 2015's Exercises in Futility from Mgla, which I believe is Polish for fog. So there you are, a little factoid for you. Okay, my number one, and we're already at half an hour, so let's fucking wrap this up. My number one came out last year. Most of you will be nodding in agreement. It is an absolute bona fide masterpiece. It really, really is. It was my album of the year of 2022, and it is still my album of that year. There are a few albums on that which, if I was to redo my 2022 list, would be much higher. This was at number one, and I would probably still put it higher. It is that fucking good. But there was Pilgrims on the Path to... Pilgrims on the... Anyway, yeah, the fucking Thy Listless Heart record. That, I think I might have had a... Was it number 8 or number 9? Wherever it was. That'd be top 3 now, because I've listened to that so much over this year and just got more and more into it. Again, that's another fucking masterpiece. Doesn't quite make this list, I'm afraid, Simon, so my apologies. But I thought I'd give you a worthy mention anyway. But this one, fuck me, it is just breathtaking. I've been lucky enough to catch this album live 3 times now. I saw them at their debut performance kind of like this time last year, approximately, in Manchester, at the Bread Shed with Winter Philith and Trivax. Brilliant. I was then really lucky to catch them at recently this year at the Huddersfield Town Hall with a fucking gigantic pipe organ. Pantheist were the support that night. Again, another breathtaking performance, and so good to see it in that unique fucking setting. Just brilliant. Great night. And then I caught them again recently at the Stormkeep gig in Manchester at Rebellion this time with Winter Philith again. Ninkasag, Nemoris, Cairns. Who the fuck else was on? Well, Stormkeep, of course. I feel like I'm missing someone. I feel like I've missed someone off that list. If I have, sincere apologies. Mentioned Winter Philith, didn't I? Sayo. Yeah, they were on Scottish ones. That's ones that I've missed. Anyway, again, fucking breathtaking. Not just great live. The songs are just without fault. The subject matter, everything, the immersive experience, the artwork, the lyrics, just the way, the delivery of all of it. It is an absolute fucking masterpiece, and there are no other words for it. Best album of last year, and comfortably, I mentioned on a previous video, this will be in the doom metal canon years from now. 15 years from now, 20 years from now, somebody will tell you top 5 doom records ever. If this isn't in it, then they need to reassess that list, personally. It's fucking breathtaking. New album out next year as well, early next year. Cannot wait for that. No pressure, Mark. But yeah, fucking phenomenal. And that is my modern 10 out of 10 albums. Like I say, I'm going to do a 3-parter with this. The next one that I'm going to do, might not be next week, might be a week or 2 down the line. I'm going to do 1990s 10 out of 10 albums. I don't know whether that's going to be a top 10. Like I say, there are so many fucking good ones from that era that I might have to make it a top 15, maybe even a top 20. And then the final piece of the 3-part jigsaw will be a 1980s classic 10 out of 10 records. That will also be very difficult. What I'll try and do as well is it's not going to work out, because some of them have to be on those lists. Some absolute bona fide classics will have to be on those lists. But anyway. So that, in my opinion, are some 10 out of 10 modern classics. Yes, there's probably loads fucking more, but that's my list. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks to the wee influx of some more subscribers. Yeah, much as thanks. Like and subscribe. Let's get the numbers up. I think we're at 140 now, 141, something like that. There will be, little trade secret, there'll be a live stream coming at some point as well. But that's all I'll say on that matter. Keep posted, though. Yeah, so that's a little something to put in your YouTube banks for later on. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Great to be back on the YouTubes. And until the next time, which will be next week. Let's get back to normal now, kids. We've had summer. We've got summer out of the way. My nipper's starting school as well. Hang on, you're watching this on Monday, aren't you? So he'll be starting school tomorrow. Where does it go, eh? So yeah, I'll be back to some kind of more of a normal format, I imagine, moving forward. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you didn't, I don't care. Thank you for watching. Ta-da!